Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jordan. Thank you for being here today, and I am excited to present to you innovative thinking for organizational development on how might we create inclusive technology for Singaporeans with disabilities, which I'm more focusing on visually impaired individuals. I have come up with an innovative application called VENNA, which stands for Voice E-Navigations. This application is designed to assist visually impaired individuals in Singapore with navigating public transports. Navigating public transport can be challenging for visually impaired individuals, and our goal with VENA is to enhance their commuting experience and promote greater independence through innovative technologies. Did you know that over 40,000 people in Singapore are living with blindness or vision impairment, according to GDS estimates? This number is projected to increase due to the aging population and longer life expectancies. And also, 79% of legally blind respondents feel Singapore's transport system needs to be more inclusive for easier travels. 92% of the general public actually agrees, and this is actually studies and press release by SMU on 2021. So, how might we create inclusive technology for visually impaired Singaporeans or in general? So let's start with the scope of our project. I began with drafting initial scope map to outline the application purpose to provide efficient commuting option for visually impaired users. And this is the iteration of the second scope map. And lastly, after thorough analysis, we created a final scope map that clearly defines the main problems and necessary features for VENA. Next up, we actually use the 5 why analysis and we explored root causes such as no accessible navigation application for visually impaired passengers, insufficient investment in accessibility technologies, lack of awareness about the needs of visually impaired passengers. And the next one will be poor engagement with the blind community in transport planning. And lastly, disability consideration are not prioritized in transport policy making. After using 5 why analysis, we employed a 6-step design thinking process, which including empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test, and last but not least, implement. This approach ensures that our solutions are user-centered and address real needs. Firstly, to empathize by understand users and their needs through research and observation. My group and I has visited Singapore Association of the Visually Handicapped (SAVH) and also conducted an interview with a visually impaired individuals and a family to understand in depth on how is their experience using public transport and how do they commute every day. As you can see from the right side, on the top one, the aunt is like auntie and uncles. They're playing the kind of a game for visually impaired. It's very fun and they're actually laughing and talking. It's really glad to see that they are very happy and enjoying the games. And the below part actually is an uncle that is practicing his braille code. Braille code is kind of a coding like a texture, like touching, for recognizing words like A, B, C, D actually translated to in braille code too. So it's how they communicate and how some of the visually impaired communicate and how do they read. They even use it to read books. They actually books actually books that actually in braille code. Yeah, and of course, the left side is you can see we are interviewing this young lady and her sister in red. Then this young lady actually been visually impaired since young, since birth. And we're really glad and really appreciate that they allow us and give us the consent to have an interview with them. So you can see me and my colleague actually interviewing, and they actually shared how do they commute every day by car, public transport, and they actually hope that they can utilize more public transport as sometimes car is not really an easy access in Singapore as not everyone own a car. And also it's quite government actually don't really encourage to use car because to save for environment and all. All right, so I'm really glad that after interviewing to understand like what features that we can have in the app, because technology is very important and it's a very big part in our life right now. And in the younger generation, they are actually more prone on using technologies, and we ask them on this opinion on what kind of features do they need and how can we help to enhance their daily life, to enhance their socializing, and how do they perhaps give them opportunity to for more option in their daily life and to enhance their life accordingly. Next up, my group and I has created a few different type of surveys to cater to wider range of users, which including online form, which is filled up by the family members and friends, and of course interview. Then there we also did like a braille code form, as we understand some of these visually impaired individual practice braille codes. And our research revealed that significant challenges actually faced by these visually impaired individuals. So as you can see, 40% of respondents struggle to find seats or move around in crowded places. 30% face issue accessing bus stop or MRT station. And most of them actually tell me that sometimes they were navigated to this the further station instead. And it's really unclear. And I hope that Vanna can help them on this part. So we are trying to enhancing heavy on this part of it. And of course, 72% do not use any accessibility tools for navigation as they are now dependent on their caregivers or perhaps a guide dog. 30% are dissatisfied with current accessibility features in public transport. I believe it's because that nowadays government is trying definitely, but of course, if we can help the community, we of course will do so, and or we hope that Vena can actually enhance this part and help them to make sure that we have these features for them to have more option on using public transports. And as you can see, most of the people right now are actually using smartphone, so I think Vena could work on this part. And they are also very comfortable in using the assistive apps application also. And 60% receive no support services like government support or any kind of support right now. And lastly will be this 56.7% reported a need for more accessible transport option, highlighting the urgent needs for improvement on this part, and which is what we are trying to do so. Next up, we define the problem. Visually impaired individuals in Singapore face limited access to public transport due to navigation inaccuracies and, of course, language barriers. Right, so let's start. Next will be ID. We developed prototypes of Venna after intensive brainstorming session, and the final design focuses on user friendliness and accessibility. So as you can see here, these are the Venna flowchart. From flowchart, and we also drafted a few wireframe prototype, and in the end led to our how our application Vanna is going to look like. And you can also see the bottom left is actually me and my group and I actually discuss in together to make sure all this actually runs through smoothly, and the application Vanna is going to actually be functional to the users. Alright, let's start with the key features for Vena, such as an AI voice assistant, obstacle detection, real-time audio directions, and integration with smart devices, and these are the main. So we actually did a rough comparison with Blind Square, an accessible GPS app developed for the blind and partially sighted, developed by MIP Soft OY, a company based in Finland, which is not available right now for this application in Singapore. As you can see here in Vena, has several addition features and also not only available for iPhone users but also to all the devices. Alright, so another special features that we think we have added on definitely is on the counseling part. So what is the purpose for this counseling? As we interview a few individuals, like at least 30 of them. So we find out that some of the individual actually feel very nervous out there in case they have to be independent, their caregiver is not here. They need the moral support, the mental support. Because as we understand that nowadays mental health definitely is one of the main thing that we are looking into. And of course for a visually impaired person, they do have time they are feeling nervous, even panic attack. So our apps, Vena can actually detect your heart rate, your emotion and behaviors recognition also. So anything that is unusual, there will be like either the music that is played through the apps, or there's actually like if it goes to like very serious, then you have a direct dial like emergency call to this counselor, to the therapies and all that, all the services that we are going to collaborate with in the futures. So after all the features, my group and I also designed the logo for Vena, and here are the meaning of it. Firstly, with the wave, as you can see, the logo of the Vena look like a wave. So wave is representing this audio frequency, sound wave, as the apps work by AI audio cues, and rainbow color representing inclusivity. Round shape actually represent united and one community, and of course the name Vena, it stands for voice e-navigation. And last but not least is the slogan, as we breaking barriers, embracing possibilities. So after designing the applications Vena, and of course including the features, this logo, and how does it going to work, and how does it going to look, we actually conducted a pilot test with visually impaired users and their families to evaluate Vena's functionality and gather feedback for improvements. As you can see here, we do get our internal group to do the testing on the right side top one, and the below one actually will be another family that we actually appreciated. Also another young individual that we get to test out on the applications. So of course, from our survey on the testing, they actually most of people definitely using public transport every day. Then the apps is actually easy to use, and then of course the rating quite high, so it's very happy and it's actually a high satisfaction, accuracy up to 4 to 5 on the arrival times, and of course the departure time also. So most of them believe that Vena has met their accessibility needs, and definitely we recommend their Vena to the families, to any other individual. We're showing a very high approval, and we're really proud of it. To ensure their successful implementation, we schedule a meeting with LTA, the Land Transportation Authorities in Singapore, and of course SMRT Corporation, which is the largest transportation companies, and of course other transportation companies to secure a collaboration with them, and to of course for the approval. At Singapore, we need approval for most of the things, as we want to make sure it is safe for the public, it is safe for everyone. So after that, we do identify a few potential challenges, such as integration issues with other apps, data privacy concerns, and real-time data accuracy. All of this actually definitely we'll see how we can improve, and we want to make sure that PDPA is actually very important in Singapore, and to make sure that no one's data is leaked. All of this security check will be working with all the cyber securities organization too. So in conclusions, Vietnam aims to significantly enhance the quality of life for visually impaired individuals by improving their access to public transport and promoting independence. Once again, I really thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to answer any question you may have. Thank you so much.